Welcome back, everyone. I'm here in the beautiful spring forest and I'm just going on a little hike today, and I want to pick up a few things for a lacto fermentation. I'm going to show you guys how to do today. So we're going to lacto ferment hosta shoots. I know a lot of you guys know about hostas. They're a very common perennial shade plant, and did you know that the shoots are edible? So we're going to do some lacto fermentation. I just want to get a few more things to put in the jar to add some flavor. The woodpeckers are out doing their mating calls and drumming for territory. The woods are alive today. So today one of the big things I'm looking for are wild leek. I want to put a few of those in the fermentation just to add that nice garlicky flavor to it, that nice oniony garlic flavor. Let's go take a look, see if we can find some. Down here we have some beautiful trout lilies. These are edible. Super duper flavorful. Don't have too many or you might get stomach upset, but very good. They have a beautiful yellow flower. The flowers, the leaves, and the root bulb is edible. On my Facebook and Instagram recently I posted a spring forest bingo card. So why don't you guys go there, download that, or PM me or email. I can send you a copy. Some of the flowers and plants you'll see, and birds actually, on that bingo card are only around for a few weeks. So you want to get doing that soon, and you know, bonus points if you get a full card. That's amazing. Here's one of my favorite woodland spring flowers. Take a look at this. This is bloodroot. Oh, it's gorgeous. The roots of this can create a beautiful red dye. They're just opening up. You'll see these are the leaves right here. Oh, just gorgeous. Just a whole bunch of them right here on this little hill. Take a look down here. This is something else I want to get for my fermentation. This is garlic mustard. So this is an invasive, so feel free to pick away. I'm going to take a little bit of this to put as a flavorant in my fermentation. And it has that really garlicky smell too, so take a little bit of that. Got my little Earthwise harvesting bag with me today just to kind of keep airflow around the plants I'm getting today and be kind to the environment. Some mushrooms are already starting to come up, and take a look at this. This is one of those elf cup mushrooms, a nice red variety. It's beautiful. You know, if we didn't have fungi, we would be like buried in dead wood and things like that from the forest you see behind me. So very, very important part of our ecosystem. Gotta love fungi. There's another spring flower called colt's foot. It is an invasive. Some people use it for you know, medicinal purposes. But that's what it looks like. Kind of looks like a dandelion, but not quite, because it's got that little stem right here. It kind of looks like little scaly leaves on there. It's kind of soft like velvet. Just watching this little pond here, and you can see the mosquito larvae wiggling around in there. Ew! Not too much longer, the bugs are going to be out. Speaking of flowers, there's the beautiful trout lily. You can see that right there. That's what the flower looks like. It's really gorgeous to see these all out in bloom. Pretty soon we're going to see the trilliums out. There's some just in front of me here, but just the leaves only. So there you go. There's a trillium. That's our provincial flower. And it'll be out very shortly. And there we go. There we have some wild leek. Very small patch, so I'm not really going to pick from this one. And look what we have here. We have some blue cohash, which is another wild medicinal. And the wild leek is right here. You can see it all throughout these two leaves right here. Just beautiful. Wild leek are ones that I planted at the cabin. I collect the seeds in the fall and I just plant them. So hopefully in another winter or so we'll have more. It takes 2 winters for the seeds to germinate. So that's a more sustainable way of you know, planting a plot versus transplanting the bulbs. I've got a huge patch in here, so I've just grabbed a small handful for our purposes today. All right, so there's some bigger patches over here, so we're gonna do a little bit of harvesting right now to get some wild leek for our lacto fermentation. Oh, these are so good. You can even just eat the leaves. And that's typically what I do to keep things rather sustainable. I was just to take one of the 2 leaves, eat it in salad, make ramp butter. Delicious. It's very rare that I actually take the entire plant with the bulb. So you want to be very cautious. You don't want to take too many. You want to be responsible. So don't take too many in a patch because once you take the whole bulb away, the plant will not come back. So best to start your own stands with seeds that you collect in the fall. Just remember these spots where you are right now and come back in the fall, and there'll be beautiful seed heads with little black seeds so that you can plant at home. All right, we're all set. I've got quite a few here in my little bag. Let's just take a look at what one of them looks like. And here it is. Got the 2 leaves, a nice little red stem. Sometimes they have a bit of a white stem as well, and the corm, the bulb right there. So we'll take these home and clean them right up. And there you saw it. The ephemeral spring flowers are really important for our pollinators as they just come out of their dormancy for the winter. So I'm really happy to see the bees doing well here in this forest. Bees everywhere have suffered quite a bit of decline, so it's always concerning. Really important to protect habitats like this so that the early spring pollinators have some food. Well, back at home, and you can see the hostas are coming out of the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off several of these to make our lacto fermented hostas with ramps. Yeah, these are edible, and they just keep coming up more and more every year, so I'm not too worried about taking some of these back. I'll cut them off here at the base. And that's what they look like. They tend to have a nice asparagus-like flavor, so I'm really looking forward to this. Now I'm going to wash the hostas and our wild leek, and of course the garlic mustard, just to prepare them for our ferment. Well, doesn't that look great? So I got the fresh ramps and the hostas. So now we're going to get everything ready for our brine. We have everything ready here. So now I'm just going to make my brine. I've got about 3 cups of water, and I'm going to add a couple of teaspoons of non-iodized salt. You can use kosher salt. Just make sure you dissolve that well into your water. And I'm not going to need all of this, but just in case, I want to have plenty of brine. This is going to help with the fermentation. So now that the brine's all ready, I'm going to pack our jar tightly with our ramps and our hostas. So you're going to want to tuck this in here. Maybe just twist it around or cut them or put them through. Stick it all the way to the bottom there. Jam that in there. Gosh, I hope my jar is big enough. Let's see if we can do this. All right, I think I have the technique. So I've got all the ramps in there. Now put the glass on its side, and then what we're going to do, kind of like we do the carrots. We lacto ferment those. You're just going to kind of tuck these hostas all in there until they're nice and tightly packed. Phew, I managed to do it. So it's all jammed in there. I decided to turn them the other way around so the cut ends were facing up, because it'll just be a little bit easier. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to put in a bay leaf and a few peppercorns into the mix and a few hot pepper flakes. Just a little bit. Don't want to do too much. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to put bay leaf in there for good measure to help keep things crunchy. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to pour our well-mixed brine over top. And you want these to be covered. There we go. Now you're going to notice that these are going to pop up, and I have a solution for that for you. So this is my glass weight. So what this is going to do, it's going to keep the hostas underneath the brine. So if you notice any bubbles, you can use a little chopstick or whatever to kind of poke them out, and just make sure you're thoroughly covering them as best as you can. And you're going to want to float, and that's what this glass weight is for, is to keep them under the brine. So we'll just let the bubbles out like so, and that'll be great. And then what we'll do is I have a special lid to put on here. So I have a special lid here that fits on top of the mason jar, and it has some holes in it, as you can see here. So when this starts fermenting, the lactobacteria will produce gas, and it will escape through the lid there, but then it won't allow fruit flies or other things to kind of get in there. Now the brine is going to help keep all the nasty bugs away and allow the lactobacteria in the environment to ferment the sugars in here and create a really nice salty, tangy, flavored wild edible. So the lid's on for the next couple of days. We're going to leave this at room temperature. It's getting warm out, so the fermentation should progress fairly quickly. Once I'll be checking every day and watching for active bubbling that's starting. That tells me that bacteria are doing their job. If that's the case, then what we'll do in the next couple of days is pop this in the fridge. It'll still keep fermenting, but it'll keep everything nice and fresh. And then we'll do a taste test in 7 to 14 days. Well, here we are a week later. Let's go check on the fermented hostas and the wild leek. Let's take a look. You can see the colors change just a little bit muted. Also, what you'll notice is the brine is a little bit cloudy, and that's a good thing. The fermentation has been very active, very bubbly, a lot of carbon dioxide coming off of the brine here, and the cloudiness of the water is the lactic acid that's in there, and that's going to help preserve the hostas and the wild leek, and it gives us basically the really nice taste of the fermented veggies in there. So let's try it out. All right, so we're just going to reach in here, and you can kind of see here the cloudiness of the brine. That's normal. It's like when you have fermented pickles in the brine, they get really cloudy. It's really good stuff. That smells so, so good. So let's give this a whirl. I'm going to try a hosta first. All right, let's try a small one. Oh my gosh. Wow. You guys have to try this. This is so good. Super crunchy. I'm glad I put the bay leaf in there. It has that light kind of asparagus-y flavor with the salt and the little bit of sour from the lactic acid from the fermentation. Hear that crunch. I'm so sorry if you hate sound of people chewing, but I can't get over this crunch. It's amazing. Let's try one of the leeks. All right, so you can see the leaves obviously have wilted a little bit, which is normal, but let's give this a try. Oh, that's so good. 2 thumbs up. By far, this is the best fermentation I have made in a long time. I think it's just because it's wild, it's fermented, and all the flavors, of all the spices I put in there, and the wild edibles, just delicious. So get on out there, harvest some of your hosta shoots, and try this recipe. You will not regret it. I think this jar is going to be gone in the next couple days. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the little foray and making the hostas, the lacto fermented hostas with wild leeks or ramps. So it's something fun to do. I like to do a different, wild edible each spring, different way of cooking them, preparing them. So I hope you enjoyed. Have a great week as always, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.